never had to put my knowledge into application before. It's not going well. You must be an agent of the architect. The panel here controls the intake and outtake for the fountains. I'd start there.
To simply go forward as if it had been flipped, and just whatever happens with
Oh, praise the architect. I hear water running. Come see, it's beautiful. I'd provide compensation, but isn't the garden's beautification a reward in and of itself?
and standard deviations, which lead to the dreaded sigma of probability distributions. By necessity, we are forced to estimate outcomes based on assumed distributions of sample populations. Such a travesty. Not a travesty, tragedy, a horror. Every analyzed and input by our archivists brings us closer. Leads to inaccurate predictions, which lead to tragedies. Contribute any and all data you can collect to our proud archivists.
Show your work or shove off. hypothesis elsewhere.
I hope you have good news for me. And I'd like to offload some of this merchandise. Sounds like a win-win. I hope you have good news for me. I knew I had the right person for the job. You've saved me quite the headache. Your reward, as promised. Aw, wondering if you'll ever see me again? Precious. I'll remain in the garden a little while longer, but it would be best if we limited contact with one another. No offense. But who knows? The plan mystifies even the greatest minds. Perhaps our paths will intersect again someday.
Lift access is currently restricted. Keep moving. At this time, residents of Laplace's garden are not permitted beyond this point.
security personnel are permitted in this booth. Leave. Please.
Agent, over here. Ah, there you are. I was informed by Gertie you've agreed to help us reconvene negotiations. With your aid, Auntie's Choice and the Order will soon be rivals no longer. Just think of all we can accomplish if our two sides reject fractiousness and combine our efforts. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides, engender trust. Gertie and I will let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
Be like the Midas operator and make a difference today. And now a song from a composer predicted to have three melodies
Hello, stranger. Mercenary. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Any undue rage you note in my tone is not at all related to the recent coup in my beloved protectorate. I do so dearly love residing in a nest of traitors, waiting for them to capitulate, unable to aid my fellows at home. It is truly a wonderful feeling. I cannot leave. My sovereign-given task is to bring the Order back into the Protectorate fold. But now it seems as if I must also bring the Protectorate into its own fold. One deed at a time, Philo.
Hate is an inaccurate phrase. I find them arrogant and exasperating. Without the Protectorate, this little organization would have no holdings to squat in. I am here because the Sovereign has tasked me with bringing these wayward, pretentious toddlers back into the Protectorate fold. Unfortunately, my time here has taught me that only mass death has the power to change the local hearts and minds. Perhaps enough will be alive to save afterwards. I am not just anyone. The duty of a liaison is of the utmost importance. requiring due diligence and delicacy. Though I suppose it a mite strange that this task fell to me, as I'd urge the vehement tanning of any wayward body bent on disrespecting the Protectorate, which would now include the Protectorate at large. Madness, slandering my beloved sovereign, following that feckless consul, makes my blood boil. I had reason to suspect the consul for some time, but this is beyond the range of simple suspicion. Some subjects had begun to doubt the sovereign's ability to lead as his father had. But I did not expect them to turn so openly. Anyone who didn't side with the sovereign will pay, sooner or later. You may count on it.
No admittance without the Artificer Laureate's permission.
Your admittance to the Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning may come at a later date, as determined by the Office of the Oracle Laureate.
I don't know who you are, but if you thought it wise to bring a cultist into the heart of Order territory, you are deeply foolish. I have not the slightest theory as to how you bypassed our guards. But if it was through violence, be assured, it will be returned exponentially.
Exactly. Though, to be honest, I was thinking of filleting you, but it didn't seem worth getting Artificer all over me.
I shall be the judge of her trustworthiness myself. There is a cultist-centric issue the Order needs resolved. I suspect you are capable of doing such. If you are not, I cannot trust you, and certainly cannot allow you to see Ruth.
If these cultists are suffering the same affliction of being traitorous curs as the others seem to be, then I look forward to killing them.
My task is this. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there.
As much as I'd welcome the bloodshed, it may be wise for me to avoid members of the Dawn until I get their treachery sorted.
If the Order could predict the future infallibly, my mentors would be alive. Seers become less accurate the more specific and more distant the prediction. All that aside, you shall need the Order's trust if you wish to see Ruth. This task will allow that. Journey to Newton. Eliminate the cultists to a person. Then we may speak of getting you an audience with Ruth. Newton contains the Six Pillars Chantry, which was one of the first temples founded after Arcadia's colonization. It's over 100 years old. The cultists are likely profaning it. But even if they aren't, I don't want them there. Our loss of Newton is symbolic. If we cannot protect it, how can we protect Arcadia? May you prove my plethora of doubts unfounded. And may you keep your cultist colleague in line on your way out.
You're lucky the commander needs something from you, or he'd be looking at your intestines on the ground right about now.
all stock is certified field... Of course you would.
Use caution as you progress. There's been reports of ursopods in the area. That's one way to become the center of attention. Random hit.
Reach for mayhem! Go for torpification. Torpification in progress. Locking them down. Consider self-preservation.
Soldier, please assess your pain on a variable scale of 1 to 100. with 1 being entirely pain-free and 100 being the worst pain you can imagine.
There is far too much variability in that scale. The amount of pain I can imagine is hardly an objective measure of the maximum amount of pain I could actually feel.
Your observation is correct, which is a diagnostic in its own right. Now, if you were... You were to indicate, using a scale of 0.4 to 12.7, how close you are to going into shock.
Sadly, that scale is entirely beyond my current comprehension, thus leading me to believe I'm already in shock, and the question itself was the actual test.
Excellent. Our diagnostic is complete, and you should feel free to resume bemoaning your agony.
Yeah!
Do you see these magnificent weapons? They have the greatest destructive potential the Protectorate can bring to bear. Tell me then, why should they not have been installed here?
Not an issue of ammunition or targeting calculation capacity. Is it because of the low ambient temperature on Cloister?
Very astute. The ambient temperature is indeed below a critical threshold at all times, yet the Protectorate ignored our warnings repeatedly.
Instances like this, are they reason for the Great Schism?
Correct. At every turn we tried to guide them with logic and reason, but they could not see past their own hubris. Thank the Architect we are no longer exposed to such.
Another object, just gone. Nothing should work that way. No matter how often the data is verified and sanctioned, it is difficult to believe.
Excuse me, I don't think you have the authorization.
It's fine, but don't get too close. You won't survive direct contact with the rift.
Fascinating. It seems gravity doesn't apply to the rift, but it somehow maintains its position in space relative to the solar system.
Salutations. We've been doing our utmost to find ways to manipulate this rift or extract data from it. Unfortunately, our efforts have been ineffective thus far. I suppose it's too much to hope for, but would you, perchance, happen to have any practical experience with or mathematical understanding of the rift phenomena? Wait. Actually, this isn't some jest. You'll have to forgive me for not taking your assertion at face value. Perhaps a demonstration. For science, of course.
All the items we put into the rift, they've been reconstituted.
But in a state far different from their original configuration. Fascinating. Oh, damn it. It's reverted to its previous state. Is it a failing of the device or an inevitable effect of the passage of time? Perhaps the architect has imposed certain limits on the rifts. Architect above. That was incredible. That small, portable device changed the state of the rift anomaly in an instant. From observing how the device operates and how the rift reacted to it, it seems to be using some kind of energy burst generated by a magnetic field to re-deregulate the structure of the field around the rift. Truly an astounding piece of technology. That's quite ingenious. The rifts are unlike any other phenomena heretofore observed. We've still so much to learn. Would you consider allowing me the opportunity to open the casing and examine the inner workings? No, forget I asked. What a preposterous question. Thank you for the demonstration. It was most enlightening. You have given my team and I a good deal to think about, and to try and fit into our current theoretical framework. It seems rifts do not fit cleanly into our current understanding of the universal equation.
Fascinating. It seems gravity doesn't apply to the rift. Somehow maintains...
Open again, quickly. Record all the relevant data and take down your observations. Reverted again! Infuriating!